Miss Amelia at the library, and today we are going to make some yummy Halloween snacks. And before we get started, I just wanted to remind everybody that our literary pumpkin contest is going on at the library, and it's also on Facebook. So you can stop by the Columbus or Saluda Library and vote for your favorite pumpkin, and you can do that every day through Saturday. You can also vote on Facebook for your favorite pumpkin, so I encourage you to do that because we can't wait to see who the winner is. All right, our snacks today that we're gonna make are mummy hot dogs and a Rice Krispie treat brain. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with that, and the ingredients that you need for the mummy hot dogs are hot dogs and crescent rolls. Now I noticed at the store that you can get crescent rolls in a little pack that's like this, that has 4 crescent rolls in it, or you can get a bigger pack that has 8 in it. So I recommend getting the smaller pack just because you're gonna use strips of the crescent roll dough instead of the whole crescent roll itself. So I'm gonna open these to get started. And this is my least favorite part because it always scares me when I open up containers like this because it kind of pops a little bit. And you just keep going. Okay, see, it wasn't that bad. But I always think that the surprise is a little scary. So you keep opening the container to get the crescent roll dough out. And that's enough crescent roll dough to make 4 crescent rolls. But like I said, we are going to cut these into strips to make our mummies. So each of the strips, or each of the crescent rolls are divided into triangles that look like this. And I'm going to use a pair of scissors to cut the dough into strips. So I'm going to start at the bottom and cut the dough all the way up. And that gives me a nice long piece of dough, and I can even stretch it a little bit so that I can wrap it around my mummy. Okay, and I'm going to keep doing that. If you've got smaller pieces of the dough, when you put it on the hot dog, you can stretch it and connect it together. So don't worry about that. And you just keep stretching it. You can lay it across your plate. Okay. And the mummies are going to be so much fun. You can use ketchup or mustard at the end. When your mummy is completely finished and has cooked, to make eyeballs, or you can use the ketchup to add some blood to it. So you can make them really scary, or you can have a happy mummy. I think my mummy's gonna be a happy mummy because I'm gonna use mustard. Okay, so I've got my strips here. Like I said, I've got some dough that's not very long, and I can use that too. I can just stick it together because once it bakes, the dough will stick together on its own. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm gonna put the extra dough over here on the side and get out one of the hot dogs. Okay, with the mummy wrapping, you just start at one end of the hot dog and keep like spiraling it up. You do want to make sure that the bottom of the mummy, the dough is connected. That way it sticks together in at least one spot. And I'm just going to wrap the dough all the way around. Ew, it looks so scary. And I'm going to use some of that extra dough to connect it on the back so you can see what I did with that extra. Okay. And if you get the dough on here and you think about which way you want the head of your mummy to be, if you're going to add eyes or a mouth to it, you may want to add, scoot the dough up or down to make there an extra section that's large enough to put eyeballs on. So, and this is the dough that I got just from one of the crescent rolls. So I cut one entire square, or I cut 2 of the triangles to make these mummies. So you can see it doesn't take a lot of dough. Okay, and I've decided I'm going to put the head right there. So I'm going to push that up just a little bit, and I can lay these on my pan. Now, while this video has been running, I have my toaster oven here. You can do this in a regular oven for sure. This is the only oven that we have at the library, so this is what we're working with today. And The oven during this video has been preheating at 375 degrees. And the instructions on the pack of the crescent rolls tell me that it should take the crescent rolls about 10 minutes to cook. And that'll give us our mummies. Okay, so it looks like I might get 4 mummies wrapped out of all of this dough that we just cut. Wrap it all the way around. Okay, and this replaces the need for a hot dog bun too. So you'll have your mummy that has the dough on the outside. I might be able to get one more. I'm going to try to get one more out of this. If I can connect all of my pieces and make the dough stretch, I should be all right. Yeah, I did. So I'm going to add some extra dough to this mummy because I've got it on my plate and I don't want to waste any of it. And I know that it's going to be really delicious when it cooks. So kind of spread the mummy wrapping out just a little bit. So out of that one crescent roll square, which would make 2 crescent rolls if you were to use each of the triangles, I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mummy hot dogs. So that little pack of 4 crescent rolls is definitely the way to go for this because you'll be able to make lots of mummies. Okay, I'm gonna put these in the oven. And Miss Jen's going to set a timer for me so that we know how long that they've been cooking. And we're going to go on to make our dessert. So our dessert for this yummy lunch that we're making is going to be a brain. So I'm pretending that this is a zombie brain and it's made out of Rice Krispie treats. And I'm going to show you how to do that. You can use a regular size Rice Krispie treat if you have one. If not, right now in the stores they have tiny, like trick-or-treat size Rice Krispie treats. And those are so cute. They're like this big. They're adorable. And I'm going to use 2 of those to shape my brain. Now, when I was getting this video ready, I remembered that brains have 2 sides, and the sides are called hemispheres. So we're going to make a left hemisphere for our brain and a right hemisphere for our brain. And all I've done with my Rice Krispie treat is kind of shaped it into like a football shape, or like you can pretend it's like a zombie eye shape. So that's going to be one of our hemispheres. And I've got my other hemisphere that I'm going to be making. And when I get both hemispheres done, you just kind of squish them together. Okay. And it kind of has a brain shape with all the Rice Krispies, which is kind of cool. You can use your finger and make that distinction between the left and right hemispheres pretty prevalent if you want. Okay. And then of course, we're going to have to add a little bit of blood to it. So for my blood, I have decorating gel, and I'm just going to add some squiggly lines to make it look like a brain. Oh, this is so gross. I don't know if I can do this. All right, so I've made the distinction between my left and right hemisphere of my brain. And if you're not familiar with your brain, one hemisphere is in charge of the creativity side, and the other side is more of like your math, science, and logic side. And you can look that up and find out which one is which. That'll be a fun thing to do. So if you are left-handed or if you are right-handed, that's a fun thing to see which side of your brain is more active. Okay, but I've got my brain with all my little squiggly, brainy veins on it, and that's what they look like. Ugh. All right, so I wish you luck on making these yummy Halloween treats. When my mummies rather, I guess they were zombies at one point, but now they're mummies. So When my mummy hot dogs finish, I'll add a video, or I'll add a little picture to the end of this video, and we'll add eyes to that, and they'll be super fun.